get going. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff D. Decker. I'm the Manager of Communications and Media for the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency. Today, the SPSA will provide an update on flooding that is impacting communities in the province. Please feel free to record, cut clips, and quote today's call as needed. We are recording the call as well, and it will be online later this afternoon on our SPSA YouTube channel and on the Facebook page. Joining us today are Brian Chartrand, SPSA Executive Director, Land Operations, Tyler Harrison, SPSA Manager, Emergency Services, Leah Clark, Executive Director, Irrigation and Economic Development for the Saskatchewan Water Security Agency, and Devin Pahalik, Director of Communications and Customer Service Branch, the Ministry of Highways. Updates will be provided today by the SPSA, the Saskatchewan Water Security Agency, and the Ministry of Highways. After that, members of the media will have the opportunity to ask one question and one follow-up. Please be advised that this technical briefing has a hard stop at 4 p.m. Now for the update on behalf of the SPSA regarding flooding conditions across several Saskatchewan communities. The details mentioned in this update are as of 2 p.m. today. The SPSA is engaged with multiple agencies, including the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Community Safety, and the Ministry of Highways. The SPSA is working with communities that are at risk of flooding or are currently experiencing flooding conditions, providing resources and supports to several of the impacted communities. 18 communities have current declarations of local emergency. These communities are the northern hamlet of St. George's Hill, the resort villages of Charney Beach and Leslie Beach, the rural municipalities of Aberdeen, Barrier Valley, Big River, Buchanan, Buckland, Garden River, Invermay, Moose Range, Pontus Lake, Prairie Rose, St. Louis, Usborne, and Wolverine, along with the village of White Fox and the Sturgeon Lake First Nation. Currently, the SPSA is in contact with each of these communities and is supporting multiple communities and rural areas with staff or equipment resources. For information on specific locations, please refer to the SPSA's interactive map or other agencies' tools, such as the Highway Hotline, which has information such as road conditions. SPSA's emergency services officers will continue to liaise with communities being affected by the flooding and will continue to assist as required. The SPSA has supplied flooding response equipment to multiple communities across the province. We will continue to monitor all affected areas and provide updates as conditions evolve. With that, I will turn it over to Leah Clark of the WSA.
Thanks, Jeff. So today, our update, in most east central areas, stream flows have peaked and are continuing to recede. Flows are expected to stay higher than normal over the next several days, despite passing through those peaks. Our preliminary data suggests that some areas in central Saskatchewan observed record high flows post-rapid spring snowmelt, and I'll talk about those in a minute. While some areas have begun to recede, other basins have not yet reached their peak, including the north, where flows are continuing to rise, where there's still snowpack. The late thaw, higher than average snowpack, combined with late spring snowstorms, continues to create significant runoff and flooding. A high flow advisory that was issued in April and updated on May 7th still remains in effect. Areas north of the Assiniboine Basin, east central, with remaining snowpack may see a surge or higher flows than currently being experienced. These increased flows could produce similar or slightly higher peaks than observed already, in particular at the Assiniboine River near Kamsack. Above normal flows are expected to continue for the next several days. To put this whole event into perspective, we just have a few points about the event magnitude. So WSA has seen record flows in certain areas on the Carrot River, Smoky Burn showed the highest ever water flow recorded at nearly 1,000 cubic meters per second. Normally, that would be around 200 cubic meters per second. To put that in perspective, the river was flowing, that's roughly at 1,000 cubic meters per second. That's roughly 1 Olympic swimming pool of water every 3 seconds. Armley was showing the second highest measurement at almost 400 cubic meters per second. Normal flows would be about 70. And the Quill Lakes Basin flows on the northern tributaries increased rapidly. And preliminary assessment also suggests that these were the highest on record for Iron Spring, Magnuson, and Quill Lakes. Going into regional impacts and current impacts we're seeing. On the North Saskatchewan River upstream of Prince Albert, there is no snow left. Flows on the North Saskatchewan River tributaries and the main stem North Saskatchewan River upstream of Prince Albert are continuing to decline. The Saskatchewan River below the Forks has been receding as well. The Quill Lakes are continuing to increase, with above normal flows continuing in Iron Spring Creek, expected to continue over the next few days. Water levels are anticipated to keep rising slightly. In northern regions, several stations continue to record discharges exceeding the normal range for this time of year. These include Crooked Hill Creek near Kenora, Assiniboine River at Sturgis, Assiniboine River at Kamsack, and White Sand River near Kenora. Flows in most areas of the Red Deer River Basin are remaining steady at or declining from higher than normal levels, except near Archewell. With most of the snowpack in the basin that has already melted, flows at Archewell are expected to begin declining very soon. For the Carrot River Basin, flows are continuing to recede in most of the basin locations, including Goose Hunting Creek, Ranch Creek, Leather River, and Doghide River near Ronsiman, and the Carrot River near Canistino, but flows are continuing to gradually rise at Carrot River near Turnberry. This trend is expected to continue as the high flow wave from upstream reaches the lower part of the basin. Water Security Agency has officials that are continuing to work with communities, providing information on flows as they happen. Along with the 5 advisories, WSA has now made over 1,400 proactive contacts via email and phone calls with local communities, RMs, and First Nations. That's my update, Jeff.
Thank you, Leah. I'll now turn it over to Devin Pahalik from the Ministry of Highways.
Okay, hello. The Ministry of Highways thanks residents and motorists for their patience and cooperation as flooding continues to impact roadways. Ministry crews and equipment remained actively engaged, addressing emerging issues and monitoring high-risk areas, and assisting with public safety measures. Drivers are reminded that highway conditions can shift rapidly due to changing water levels. Motorists are encouraged to consult the highway hotline before leaving and prior to their return trip for the most current information. Flood-related closures and other incidents are available through the highway hotline interactive map, as well as under the text report under the traffic events section. And to see details of highway incidents and closures, click on the map icons. Above average snowfall in some regions, followed by rapid thaw, resulted in significant runoff, creating added pressure on the provincial highway system. Swift moving water is impacting infrastructure by weakening road beds, eroding bridge approaches, and contributing to ongoing challenges across the network. The situation continues to evolve, and it is too early to determine the overall extent of damage or the total cost to repair infrastructure. But we assure you that crews are working diligently to maintain access on highways and restore normal traffic flow as quickly and safely as possible. All available ministry resources are being directed to the areas that are most affected by flooding. Culverts are being repaired or replaced as necessary to manage water flow. Pumps are being deployed in locations where existing culvert capacity is insufficient, helping to keep roads passable. And I'll give you a quick snapshot of incidents around the province. Right now, there are 6 provincial highway closures related to flooding and about 8 incidents related to water on the road. This is a dynamic situation, which is why it's important to check the highway hotline regularly, be alert, drive to current road conditions, watch for signage, and obey all flag persons. And again, the ministry appreciates the patience and understanding with those delays.
Thank you for that update, Devin. We will now open it up to questions from the media. Please use the raised hand function to indicate you have a question. You will then be recognized when it is your turn. Questions can also be submitted using the chat function. I would like to remind you to turn on your microphone and your camera when asking your question, and then to turn them off when you're finished. I would also ask that media members, before asking the question, please identify themselves with the media outlet which you are representing. This also includes questions submitted via chat. If there are additional questions afterwards, please send them to the SPSA's communications inbox. That's media.spsa@gov.sk.ca. This is the SPSA's main contact for all our media. If there are any questions for the SPSA after today, that's where they should be sent. So let's start the questions, and let's go with Jeff Smith.
Hi, Jeff Smith from CJME and CKOM. Sorry that this is a little bit off topic from the flooding, but they seem to have the other problem in the southern part of the province, and that's fire. We're aware of a pretty large one east of Regina affecting a couple of First Nations. Can you give us a little bit of a picture or a snapshot of the fire situation, especially with the wind conditions that the south is getting?
Jeff, I believe at this point we are working on gathering information so we can have a proper response to that. So that will be done whenever we can collect that information. I would suggest that if you could send that question to our inbox so that we have it and we can get back to you when we have the information that you are requesting. We
Sure,
also have a question. Oh, sorry, Jeff, did you have a follow-up?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. We do have a question in the chat, from Neil Billinger. He just wanted to confirm there are roughly about half the number of communities under a state of emergency as compared to the last report. And Neil is from CJWW in Saskatoon. Yes, Neil, on Sunday, I believe there were 34 declared states of emergency, and today they are at 18. Let us now move on to Ashley.
Hello, Ashley Behrens, Global News Saskatoon. I was just wondering if there was any progress on a plan for repairs in the province.
I'm assuming, Ashley, you're asking for the roads and bridges, that sort of thing?
Yeah,
So
yeah, sorry.
We'll hand that over to Devin.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Yeah, we are continuing to work hard repairing culverts. We're installing temporary bridge structures in some areas and fixing road surfaces to provide access to both industry and our residents. I can give an example of this. The Ministry of Highways has secured a contractor to install a temporary structure on Highway 165 over Smooth River. There was a bridge collapse there, and it was due to flooding, numerous culverts being damaged by ice jams and things of that nature. And a temporary bridge is being put in place there. There were 2 other locations that have temporary bridge structures in place now. One temporary bridge is south of Foam Lake. That was caused by culvert damage, and another in Brantspeth. And we are working on that 3rd structure at Smooth Stone River.
Okay,
Ashley, do you have a follow-up?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. We'll now move on to Randy.
Hi there, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Awesome. So my first question is, do you have an update on Pachinak and La Plonge as they were experiencing flooding last week?
Tyler, would you be able to handle that for me?
Sure. So it's my understanding that the roads accessing those communities are now open. We do still have communication with both communities up there. And then if there is any requests or any help that is needed, we are able to still get that to them. But right now, it's my understanding that the roads are open and have access.
Do you have a follow-up, Randy?
Yeah, and they currently are in a fire ban. So how are you able to support them during this?
Oh, Tyler, if you could answer that for me, please.
Sure. Yeah. So speaking on the flooding side of things, we do still have the pumps. So we do have flood control barriers. We have personnel if need be. On the fire side, we are still ready to go if there are fires up there. So we are still at full operational capacity, and there is no reason to believe we wouldn't be able to help.
Thank you, Tyler. The next one we'll go to, it's only identified as editorial. Please go ahead, but please state your name and the agency that you're working for. Oh, okay. I'm going to take a wild stab at that. And I see in the chat there is a question from Arjun of the PA Daily Herald. And I'm hoping that's who has his hand up in the chat as well. His question is, with the SPSA resources currently supporting flood response, how does the agency make sure it is still ready for wildfire season if conditions change quickly? Tyler, could you take a run at that one for me, please?
I think I'll pass that one off to Brian.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Good question. So we have operational meetings twice a day. We do a provincial review of our resources available, and currently we do have equipment and staff assisting with floods, but it's a very small portion of our labor force that's requested out in the field right now. So we are monitoring conditions provincially and interprovincially, seeing what's happening in our neighbors' yards as well. But currently, if wildfires do continue to progress, we have a lot of staff and resources available for that type of incident. Again, we do have staff helping with floods, but it's a very small amount. And we always have our agreements, our MARS agreements with and compact with other provinces and countries as well if we do get overwhelmed. But again, we're not forecasting that anytime soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. We'll now move on to Donovan.
Yeah, Donovan May, CTV Regenis, runs for the Water Security Agency. I suppose just with the snowpack and the way it is, like how long does the province kind of expect these flooding conditions to kind of persist, and when can people kind of expect to maybe see it dry up a little bit?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a lot of variables, and I have to start with that. With the temperatures and the overnight kind of lows above zero right now, we're seeing pretty steady snow melt. The one thing that might change that is rain. When we get rain on snow, it does make that snow melt a little bit more rapid. So we're watching those conditions closely right now and actually working with ECCC, Environment and Climate Change Canada, on a potential advisory here. As far as date, I think those variables make it really hard for us to come up with a date. So just can't come up with one right now, but we're watching and monitoring.
Do you have a follow-up, Donovan?
All good for me. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Donovan. Okay, so we've gone through. It looks like everyone has had their original kick at the cat here. And so I'm going to do another room circulation. And for any follow-ups that we have before the 4 o'clock hard stop of the briefing. And I see Ashley has her hand up with another question. Go ahead, Ashley.
Hi, yeah, I was just wondering if you guys had photos of the smooth bridge damage after, and if you'd be able to send them to me after this.
That would be for you,
I can
Devin.
see, yeah, I can see what we can provide there, Ashley.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm going to do one more runaround. Does anyone else have any further questions that they would like to ask? All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending today. A reminder that any additional questions can be sent by email to media.spsa@gov.sk.ca. Thank you again and have a nice rest of your day.